Knights Academy. Training's in session.
Alright, so, previously on our game, there was a lot of crap that happened, and a lot of crap that did not happen. Basically, starting off, you guys had left the island, had come out to, I just spaced them, Awin, and during that time, you guys were able to find a side quest adventure that you were able to accomplish, and won the deed to the tower, the wizard's tower. You guys have accumulated a little bit of wealth, found out some of the things going on at home are actually advantageous at the moment. Found Grukk's old village. Grukk challenged the old chief, who looks suspiciously like him. Defeated him. The guy turned into a demon. Defeated him again. Proving himself very victorious and a worthy chief for the tribe, which they are all now looking at you as, and we left off during a massive feast and people passing out throughout the night. Not much of business was talked about, just lots and lots of drinking and fistfights.
I would like to reiterate that while it was nice that I was able to defeat the demon, the fact that he was so weak that he aligned himself with that demon just completely ruined my plans going into the village itself. I had this whole thing laid out that I was going to do. I talked to Saxon about it. It was going to be awesome. It was ruined. I'm just saying.
Well, you have heard the statement before that if you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans. I am the game operations director, GOD. You know. Although you didn't tell me your plans, to be fair. So
I might still have an opportunity at some point. We'll see.
You guys haven't actually gotten into anything else. They're just in awe of your fighting ability, and right now we're testing your drinking ability, and a few of the orcs are trying to test your fuck ability.
Hopefully it goes better than the last time that we sat down for drinks. Because that was an embarrassment for an orc.
Yes, that was. Either way, the night does go by jovially. If I remember right, Ambrosia is there as well as the quirky bird that's kind of hopping around a bit, drinking a little, and looking at Grukk strange once in a while after Grukk drank his arcane eye and he saw the insides of him. Which, by the way, arcane eye does have dark vision, so he literally saw the inside of you. So that's why he turned his head around like, what the hell? At you.
That's what he gets for not realizing it's a delicacy among orcs to drink an eyeball.
That is true.
And then who puts an arcane eye in somebody's drink? That makes no sense.
It's crayons.
I was gonna say it's the player. Look at that. It doesn't. Nothing he does makes sense anyway. It's more amusing for him, so I guess that's the way it's gonna be on that one. Past that, the night goes fairly uneventfully outside of a massive party going on. There are a few people that a couple of the orcs tell you will want to talk to. In the morning when everybody's sober, to make sure they acknowledge your right of dominance for the tribe.
So, I might be able to put on my show yet.
You might be able to. There is, basically there's a orc that's in charge of basically the hunting party. One that is like the right-hand man of the war chief, the one that typically runs most small raids, and the witch doctor are the ones you want to talk to.
That seems fair, at least for the moment, because there's probably other people I'm going to want to talk to as well.
Makes sense. So,
do you want me to kill them?
Not yet. We will see what happens. Let's start with the guy that runs the hunting parties.
Okay. Well, in the night during the party, that's when you were told about this. Both him and the other one are so sloshed, you're pretty sure they don't even remember their own name at this point. To be fair, they are still drinking.
Second nature, it's muscle memory.
Yeah, pretty much. And as for the witch doctor, I don't know. What's the witch doctor doing at the moment? I waited till you had a bite of food in your mouth. He's like... Like I said, you just witnessed this amazing fight between the war chief of your tribe and this challenger that everybody acknowledged as being a former member of the tribe. They pelted him with rotten fruit, but honor-bound, the war chief actually did accept the challenge. When he was about to be killed, he transformed into a demon and then was killed once again by the person that everybody is now acknowledging as the new war chief of the tribe.
I'm gonna run back into the place I've been staying at
Okay.
and try to collect up my things.
Okay. So the witch doctor is nowhere to be found during the party.
What has been going on with the slaves of the camp?
They are currently serving still, although that's because you said in the morning they'd be released. Although they are reluctantly, almost a little nervously, drinking as well. By the way, he did release all the slaves of the camp. So, and yeah, giant drinking fest. Go ahead, John.
Is anybody packing their bags, getting ready to leave? I guess that would be the crux of the question.
Investigation.
I forget what my plus is.
Oh, and full is about 6 sheets to the wind, by the way.
So, should I roll? Die.
I got a 4.
Yeah, go ahead and roll a, I don't know, are you trying to be sneaky about it?
Yes.
Okay, then yeah, go ahead and roll a stealth. Don't roll a 1. And you have it.
22.
Okay. Yeah, Grukk, you don't see anything. Nobody seems out of the ordinary. The only person that really seems to be missing from the festivities is the witch doctor. But you know that the witch doctor, from when you used to be part of the tribe, always kept a little distance from the tribe. They're part of the tribe, but not part of the tribe. If that makes sense. They're usually right on the fringe of society. They're strange to begin with, so.
Oh. See, the only other thing I can think of is I'm wondering if there is, like, what would be the word for it? Is somebody in the tribe that has basically, that would have an inventory report that I could get? Like, what is in the tribe? What's the, how many weapons are there, shields, cottages for sleeping.
Kind of get the feeling they don't have any formalized organization of that.
Okay, then that'll be another task for another time.
Yeah, you get a feeling they may know rough numbers of how many warriors they have, how many armed warriors, stuff like that. Maybe the quality of some of their gear, but you don't have an idea of. You don't think they'll have an idea of exactly what they have. I mean, it could probably be done, but that's just not the orc way.
We'll see how many people still like me in the morning.
All right. Well, if they don't like you, they can challenge you.
They can, or they can just leave. They'll have 2 options. I don't suppose there's really going to be a whole lot else that I'm going to do, particularly that night.
Saxon?
Because then in the morning I'm going to want to talk to people.
Anything you're doing that night, Saxon?
Eyeballing the tribe.
Okay.
And I'm trying to decide if it's smarter to get really drunk and then tell stories of Grukk's adventures, or wait and let him try to consolidate power himself.
Well, that's up to you entirely, although give me an insight as you're kind of looking over the tribe. Given your character's persona. Generally, people seem to be pretty jovial about this. A little apprehensive. You can tell that some of the older orcs, some of the stronger orcs, are not happy with the first proclamation that Grukk had made of releasing the slaves. But they are, you could tell, tentatively staying by right now because they're seeming like they're trying to assess his actual strength. If he just got lucky or if he's just that good. So.
Oh, some things I want to do, but I won't because it'll fuck with Grukk's plans.
Alright, and what are you doing, Senor Witch Doctor?
Trying to sneak out and get out of the camp.
Alright, so go ahead and roll another stealth for that. And I will need everybody to roll perceptions. Grukk, how much have you been drinking?
This is my highest stat.
I'm assuming plenty.
Roll yours at
Not-
disadvantage.
Yeah, because
I don't want to say that I've been pounding them back, but I'm not going to be taking it easy either.
Yeah, roll them at disadvantage.
Wow.
Natural 20.
Oh,
Well,
Jesus.
Still getting beat. Then I managed an 18, but
So with your stats addition to the natural 20, what is it?
27.
27? Okay. You're pretty sure nobody spots you leaving.
I am too.
Yeah, 20. At one point, while you were walking out, you see the bird turn his head and look in your direction, like 3/4 of the way. Kind of look around a minute, and then look back. There's a bird creature here. What are they called? Arokra?
Oh, yeah.
Aarakocra?
Is that the other player?
Yeah. He has a pretty good plus, but he didn't quite see you, but like he must have heard something and looked that way, but didn't see you, so shrugged it off.
Okay. So I'm trying to walk out to go because I already collected up all the magical items and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Because those were all in that building, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you would have had those in a central place.
So I got
yourself.
all the stuff, and I'm leaving
Okay.
to go. I don't know where we are.
You got okay. You're on roll 20, correct? Yes, you are. All right.
Yes, yes,
So
yes.
in the world, you are currently in the country of Awen.
Okay.
It is basically think like Germany or England type thing, kind of like a weird amalgamation of the two. Specifically, you guys are right here in that truck of the river,
Okay.
several days away from anything that is considered civilized.
Okay.
You are on the, like I said, on the border of a river, about maybe a third day of travel away from the river, and all around you is a forest. Most of around the orc village itself has been cleared out of the forest, and it's actually been established as a fort more so than a village, which is very unusual. You would actually have knowledge that the tribe has been working for some individual, you're not sure who, and has been holding down this position and being paid well in weaponry and supplies.
Is there anywhere outside of the fort I can sit to see inside of it to just watch?
Yes, actually, there is some pretty decent sized trees. They are abnormally tall here. A decent climb check could get you up any tree, pretty much, or a relatively easy climb check. Or athletics, that's what they call it now.
Yeah, decent.
Average.
Okay.
Let's see how it
Let
goes.
6.
It'll take you about twice as long as you think it should to get up there. You know, it should be something you can get up in about 5 minutes. It takes you closer to about 15, but you're able to get a good perch.
Okay.
You can see. You're about roughly a football field away from the village, but close enough that you can see the general atmosphere of what's going on, just not specific individuals, unless they're very pronounced, such as Grukk right now, who is sitting on a very oversized throne. He actually looks kind of like a child on the throne.
I want to pull out the crossbow and wait and see if anything interesting happens.
All right, that works.
Okay.
So the rest of the night does go fairly uneventfully. You'll watch people drink. They drink. There's a few fights. Nothing out of the ordinary of a typical orc night of revelry. And they will eventually start passing out in places and people turning into their own place, so on, so on. So
Okay.
the night will start to wind down. And you will see that it has not been too bad, but you could easily stay here and watch if you'd like, or whatever you'd like to do.
Yeah, I'd like to stay up and watch.
Okay. Grukk, how late do you stay up? Do you go? Are you one of the first to turn in? Are you one of the last?
Probably, definitely not the first, but also certainly not the last, because I want to be up fairly close to first light.
Okay. And yeah, like I said, the guy that you beat was like 15 feet tall, and the throne was built for his size. So when you're sitting in it, you seriously look like a child, like kicking your legs on this throne. It is just huge compared to you.
Sitting on the curb, swinging my feet.
Pretty much. Pretty much. Saxon, what are you doing? How late are you staying up? How drunk are you getting?
Not very drunk.
Okay.
Like, tipsy at best. And I will probably be among the last to turn in because I don't trust these people.
Okay. Let's see how quickly Vol falls asleep. Vol actually is not the first to fall asleep, but about maybe 45 minutes after the first people are turning in, he is just like mid-talking and falls face first on the table he was at and just starts snoring loudly, passed out drunk.
He's home.
He's happy.
He never knew he was an orc.
Never knew it. Well, he's a warrior at heart. That's a kindred spirit that crosses across race. So, and Grukk, you will turn in probably a few minutes after Vol passes out. Your choice if you want to leave him face down there or not.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I figured. Ambrosia kind of sets up near the hut you'll be staying in, which is the former hut of the previous chieftain. Bed large enough for him and his 4 wives. Given the fact that you are much smaller, you could probably fit a couple more wives in there if you really wanted to. But
are his wives still in the tent when I go to turn in?
Yes.
My first order will, as soon as I walk in, I will be giving them the option to, go, because they were his wives, they're not mine. If they wish to not spend the night in this tent, they are not required to.
They will tell you they married the chief, not him. The title is what they married.
All right, as long as it's off the dead, cool.
So, all right. So that night goes interestingly. Yeah, your Zerka will stay with Ambrosia. She doesn't feel comfortable being in the hut with you at all.
That's a good plan. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, she's gonna stay with Ambrosia. Grukk has just so you know, because you would have seen this, an apprentice who looks like a human child, maybe 12 years old, that has been following him around. Yeah. And then, after he even defeated this guy, he allowed an half-elf into the village. I mean, orcs, that is weird. Flower blood in there? No. But, so there has been a half-blood in there.
Wait, who was the elf?
There was a half-elf that literally teleported in during partway through the night, and her name is Ambrosia. They were talking to her. Had to tell some of the warriors to stand down when she showed up.
Oh, okay.
So, but
it's fair notice.
Oh, a half-elf. Oh, no.
I'm just, the orcs mentality, man. There's a half flower blood here. Like, it's already bad enough that it's half human. You put half elf in it, too.
Yeah.
That's just.
That I'm almost guaranteed to have to defend myself at some point.
Oh yeah.
Like there's no way.
So yeah, the night goes
you
up.
have to consolidate your power in a hurry.
Real fast.
All right. So where are you sleeping at, Saxon?
That's a good question.
Ambrosia and Zerka are pretty much right outside the chieftain's hut. They've kind of pitched a tent there.
That sounds like a winner.
So,
In that general vicinity, obviously giving the women a wide enough berth to protect their modesty for now.
fair enough.
For now.
One of them's
I have
12
to-
years old, dude.
I can't help but point out that so far a bunch of people are pitching tents outside of what is now my tent, whilst I'm pitching a tent inside my tent.
Yes, yes.
And we're talking about tents that are not, going to dampen sound at all.
Nope. You are absolutely correct. All right. Give me a perception check at disadvantage, please.
Me?
No. Saxon. You will give me one at regular.
Oh shit, disadvantage. I haven't used it today. Luck. Luck again. Okay, 10.
I got an 11.
Ouch.
10. Okay, 10 again. 11.
Seriously, 5, 4, 5.
All right. Well, you're asleep peacefully or resting, whatever you're doing at the moment, Saxon. You will see from your perch there appears to be 2 to 3 orcs that are sneaking up. They do have daggers upside down, and they're heading very stealthily towards the tent of the chieftain. It is very late at night. This is after almost everybody's turned in.
How far am I away from that tent?
Honestly, about 100 yards, but they're moving pretty slowly. It's well over your crossbow range.
Over
Just-
on
Over. Like, I believe the crossbow range is what? I don't know what
100 to 400.
Oh, yeah, no, you're within
Warwick
it.
away?
You'd bet at disadvantage. No. Warwick has your perception right now.
Just to clarify, in case it matters, while it is 100% that my armor would not be anywhere near me, at the very least, my axe would most likely be still within reach, or at least close by.
I'm sure
Would
it
that
would
be fair?
be.
Okay.
It has.
I was gonna say, if nothing else.
I had to stop myself from saying something that would be very inappropriate to put on YouTube.
Now,
You can edit this.
I mean,
I'm
yeah.
trying to. Well, let me look at my spells quick. I gotta remember what these do.
Also, if anybody happens to be like watching this and hasn't realized that I'm a foul-mouthed piece of shit, they should probably realize it now.
That's a good point. That's a very good point.
How far is the tent exactly? About 100?
It is 320 feet away.
Oh, jeez. Never mind, I can't do that.
What were you going to do?
I was gonna check a fire bolt.
No, that's a little too far. You're within your crossbow range. On
Yep.
the extended range.
I'm gonna try to launch a bolt
Okay.
into the tent.
Okay.
Like, into the, like, because they're, like, it's like a camping tent, right?
Yeah.
Like, flimsy, and a bolt will go right through
it's
it.
got it's basically an octagonal tent, but it's mostly hide, so it is fairly easy to knock into it. So you will actually roll at normal because it's such a large target at this distance. It's not like trying to hit a medium-sized creature, so it won't be at disadvantage.
Okay. 17.
That will hit. You'll be able to right off the top of the tent. Grukk and Saxon, you guys can give me perception checks at that point.
Am I still at
It's better than a fucking 5.
Am I still at
19.
disadvantage?
No, you're just rolling it now at normal.
Oh.
Because you heard a really hard thump at the top of your tent.
Well, that's what you think. I rolled a 1. I got a 5.
Okay, so you are preoccupied, not hearing the thump even.
He still pinched at his other tent.
It coincided with other thumping. So you didn't hear it at all. Saxon, you look up, or you sit up because you can hear that. As you look, you can see a shadow passing in front going towards his tent.
Okay, in his head, Gruck's going to hear, "You may want to wake up." And it's going to be loud enough that it would have woken him up.
I'm not sleepy.
He just opens his thoughts to you for a moment. You get a very glib glimpse of what he's thinking.
Ugh, gross.
It will, however,
A moment of
finish.
passion, hard to...
And then I'm going to look down at Warwick and ask him how many people are out there.
3.
Whilst you gain some insight as to the activity in the tent, it will, at the end of it, finish with me, like standing and whatnot, and at attention in more ways than one.
All 3
And
of them.
I will be grabbing my axe.
I'm going to open the tent. I'm just going to look out and just loudly, "Can I help you?"
You say that, and one of them turns to you, and the other 2 quickly dart into the tent. From your point, you can see out a little ways. You can see that somebody has apparently heard your warning shot and has taken point, but 2 of them have charged into the chieftain's tent. So, what do you guys do? We're gonna roll initiative here. That's the first thing.
I am going to attack them.
So we got to roll
Hopefully-
initiative first. and
Roll
then-
initiative. Yeah, we'll do that. That was- and let me
nine.
know what you roll.
Damn it.
All right. Anybody over 25?
No.
No, not even.
No.
Okay. 15 to 20. Okay.
Yeah.
I made
Yeah.
a play. I made a play for last.
What did you
I got
guys have?
I got a
I had
2.
a 15.
I got 9.
Okay.
I didn't want to go last.
Saxon, you get to go first.
Like, all together?
Yeah, you get to go first.
Oh, okay.
So,
Have your guy roll a wisdom save.
all right. Yeah, no, he fails whatever it is. The total of a 5.
He takes 7 psychic damage and must use his reaction to move as far away from me as speed allows.
All right, he starts to book it away from you. He was within striking range. If you can pull out a dagger real fast, you can strike at him.
18.
That'll hit for 1 damage.
Yay! I'm rolling real well tonight. Okay.
All right. And so, yeah, he takes a full 30 foot away from you. You will notice that he doesn't seem to be particularly strong by any means. I mean, for an orc, he is definitely strong, but will-minded, definitely not. All right. And they get a roll at the end of their turn, or beginning of it, or end of it, for that spell.
This unfailed save. It doesn't say.
Here, link it in the chat, please. Because I don't know what spell. Okay, Dissonant Whispers. I should have known that. Let's see. Okay, so it's just a one-turn thing anyway. He turns around looking really confused. And is going to charge you with his dagger. And he is going to attempt to stab at you. I am fairly sure a 22 hits you, Saxon.
Nope.
And that will do 5 damage. Or no, I'm sorry, 7 damage. As he comes and just plunges his dagger right into your shoulder. You're able to back up a little bit so it slices down, cutting your cloth that you were wearing more than anything.
I look down, look at it, then just look at him and, like, menacingly. That's it. I just want him to know that I don't care.
So you stand up, buck-ass naked, standing in more than one way, holding your axe in one hand alone. And you see 2 orcs come charging in, both of them charging at you with their daggers, and they both stab at you, Grukk.
Most likely hit.
Yeah, a 22 and a 16.
I mean, I'm guessing they're at like a 2 on the dice to hit me because I should be at, what, a 10?
Yeah.
When you're buck?
Both of them hitting you, you're able to kind of step back a little bit and dodge some of the blows. Superficial, nothing like hitting too bad, but it is a total of 10 damage from 2 blows.
As long as nobody's blade grazed my dog.
Nope, they are trying to go for your heart and stuff like that, trying to actually kill you. So, it'll be your turn now, Mr. Witch Doctor, sir.
You said 10, right?
Yes. Total of 10 damage.
How far does my grappling hook go?
As long as the rope is... Honestly, it's a part of the magical item. As far as your hook will shoot. Or as far as your thing will shoot, so...
Can I see something to hook it around and then grapple down and, like, grab onto it and go all the way down?
Yes. Yes, you do. There is at the gate, actually, there's a perfect place to do that. Gate to the city. It's a crude gate, but there's a good pot. And that's only about 20 feet away from where they are.
Can I do that?
Yeah, absolutely. Take a shot to see if you hit. You certainly can try, so.
10.
10? Actually, because it is a stationary object, that will hit. You're able to land it at the right spot.
Can I use my move action to rappel down there, then?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
So you are able to attach the rope and slide straight on down using the crossbow as it. You just kind of like hook it around and you're sliding down the whole thing, holding on. Okay. You're able to close that gap very quickly. And you will land very close.
Do I have any more actions?
You have a bonus action if you have one allowed to you.
The only bonus I don't have one right now.
Okay.
That would do anything right now.
Okay, that works. So Saxon, you will see I'm assuming you had you know what? Go ahead and describe yourself in your current state, Mr. Witch Doctor, sir.
Oh, right now I'm an orc that looks all like witch doctor. I don't know.
So
purple robes.
You'll see a slightly scrawny orc, not near as strong as some of the other ones. Definitely more deft with fingers than with muscles. Definitely, like you said, purple robes covered in feathers all over the place, and a witch doctor mask that is currently up on the top of his head comes swinging down on a crossbow as he lands and is looking around.
Is he wearing a necklace of human skulls?
No, they're halfling skulls.
Oh, that works.
Or diminutive heads. You're not sure which.
At first he was all sad. Oh, okay.
Uh,
You're a scrawnier orc, so you know the halfling skulls just aesthetically looked better.
of course.
You know. So yeah, that's what you will see. And Grukk, there are two people right next to you.
Am I aware of the third one outside?
You are not.
Not at all.
Well, did you tell him three people are attacking?
No, he didn't.
No, I
Then
just
no, you
said
are
he
not.
needs to wake up.
You
Okay.
see two people coming in. You're not sure if this is it or if it's a full-on revolt. It may be a full-on revolt as far as you know.
Well, given my current situation, I do believe one particular course of action would be best, considering there are two in front of me, and that will be to cast Hold Person. And I will do so at 3rd level, so as to hit them both.
They are both frozen in place. Like, they stab at you and they're coming back. You see their eyes looking around, terrified.
Then I'm going to very calmly, one might say exaggerated, walk over, pick up my shield, and then I will walk back over in front of the two of them with my shield in front of me and my axe at the ready. And that I will finish my turn.
Standing headstrong and cocksure? Or is it cocksure and headstrong?
Matter of fact, I might have even started ejaculating.
Gross. Alright. Saxon, it's back to your turn. He dared slash at you and drew your blood. Blood still dripping off of his dagger as he's looking at you like he's gonna win. Like he's...
Suggestion.
Okay.
You can't make him take out his own eyes. It doesn't work.
No, I'm aware.
Yeah, it works.
It does?
I rolled a natural one.
Oh. It's going to start with me telling him to protect his chief.
Okay. So on the orc's turn, it's at the end of the turn for hold person, correct? When they get theirs?
Yes.
Jesus. Okay. So as you're doing that, you'll see another orc come charging in and just plunge a dagger right into the neck of one of the other ones. Which gives that guy a check. They both succeed getting out. Okay, for just having a nat 1 a moment ago, I just rolled 2 nat 20s.
Oh.
They're both out. Although the one did stab the one in the neck, and he looks back, and you can see a look of shock on his face. So, it was actually a pretty good hit, by the way. The one that came in is wounded, just so you know. You can see a little. You can see a little blood coming out of the ears of the guy, as well as a slight slash across his side. And what would you want to do, Saxon? Sorry.
I'm gonna turn and look at the witch doctor-y thing, and I'm just gonna give him a look like, you better fucking stay there. I'll deal with you in a minute, and then I'm gonna go.
So give the look. Give the look.
And then I'm gonna just turn and walk into the chief's tent.
All right. And it's gonna go back to you, Witch Doctor.
What do I see any targets?
They all have gone into the tent. That you know for sure. And the tiefling looked at you like this before walking in. So you're not exactly. I mean, you can insight to know exactly what he was meaning by that, but you know.
He was having an epileptic seizure.
That's what it looked like. He's half asleep, so.
Yeah, well, you know, it's happening.
I was hoping they wouldn't. I was hoping they weren't going to break free of them.
Well,
Yeah, 2 nat 20s,
I-
dude. It's like...
do I know how many people are in the tent?
You saw 3 altogether moving, so you're assuming there's 3 in the tent, plus not hostiles in the tent, most likely the war chief, his 4 wives, and this tiefling dude that walked in there. So
How big's the tent around?
it's about 15 foot across. It's the largest tent in the
Okay.
in the village.
I want to hurl a firebolt on top of it.
Okay. You certainly may try. Roll it.
Okay. 17.
That will hit. You can see the top of the tent light up from the inside, guys. And you can hear a faint sound of what sounds like it's trying to catch on fire. But, I mean, it is treated, so it doesn't, easily catch on fire from sparks and whatnot. But you're pretty sure another blast like that will set it. But you definitely see it light up inside for a moment.
Oh, I was going to say, because this says... Oh, never mind.
Okay. What were you thinking?
No, it just says it ignites the target. It says flammable, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're designed to not be easily caught by sparks and whatnot. You can treat leather and whatnot for that, so. All right. Grukk. They have broke free.
That is unfortunate.
Cast it again.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna go with. Spirit Guardians and call it good.
Go ahead and roll your damage. Shit. Not one of them saved.
Uh, 13.
2 of them, including the one that just charged in and attacked the other one, just are cut down by this.
Side note, because the one that charged in that I didn't know about immediately attacked one of the other 2, I probably would not have it attack him.
Okay.
Because as far as I don't know for a fact that he's hostile towards me.
Okay, so the other one that the guy plunged the dagger into, he will be cut down immediately by the Spirit Guardians just attacking him and cutting him up quick. The other one falls to a knee from all the damage. Saxon, it is your turn.
Can I give him... Hang on.
Uh-oh. We forgot something.
Yes, you did. Go ahead and roll it.
Let's see if blue saves the day.
You do not have Vol with you, remember.
Oh, man.
Oh, that would have been
19.
perfect. I'm sad you saved.
19 on the dice. 26.
Okay.
Sorry. It would have been pretty awesome.
Your
At that
days of
moment.
War Chief would have been very short.
I would have paid to see that.
All right, so Saxon, what do you do? Orcs are on deck.
Okay, so the course of action, I can't give him a new one, but I can, friendly be like, okay, we need to tie this guy up, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I'm gonna shout that at the new orc.
Okay. It's a much more simple command than that. It's a one-word command for suggestion, which I believe was defend. So, and actually, I think it is as you're casting it. I don't think it's a continual thing on that.
Right.
One, so
He still has to defend his chief. He's still following the original command.
So you're just saying, hey, tie him up. Whether he does or not is up to him, but yeah.
Also, gonna be slowly walking up behind the new guy, the one that's under my suggestion.
Okay. On their turn, the one looks back and forth. In Abyssal says, I curse you while looking at you, Grukk, and stabs at you and misses horribly. As the other one kind of does this and looks back at you, Saxon, kind of angry. He apparently shrugged off the effects. So, all right, Witch Doctor, it is your turn. You could definitely hear a death throw of an orc from inside, as well as hearing... Do you speak Abyssal?
No.
Okay, you can hear Abyssal being screamed on the inside. You can see people starting to come out of their tents to see what the hell is going on.
So is there like a crowd forming, almost? Like a
Slightly, but
grouping?
more like they're like stepping one foot out of their tent right now and trying to figure out what the hell's going on. Another round or two, and there definitely will be a crowd.
Can I spot someone that looks very, not simple, but like someone that could blend in easily and turn into them?
You sure can, yeah.
Okay, I'd like to do that and then try to blend in somewhere.
Into the crowd. Okay, that works. All right, so that's your action and everything. You are off on your own then. All right, Grukk.
Can I roll a medicine check on the orc that is currently on his knee?
Yes.
10.
He is very close to death. Very, very close.
Is the other one? Did he turn back to Saxon? Is he? Can I discern from his demeanor that he's going to attack?
Yes. You are fairly certain he will.
Okay. Then I'm going to use my first attack to flip my battle axe around, and I am going to go with a blunt force bash on the orc on his knee, because I want to knock him out. I don't want to kill him.
You'll want to dispel your Spirit Guardians this turn too, then.
That's a good point.
It's
Actually,
it's just a free action to dismiss them, basically.
yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and dismiss him.
Okay. Otherwise, they are going to kill him next turn. Like, regardless of if he saves or not, he has that few hit points. I don't think it's possible for you to roll low enough that he could save.
And see, 16, 25 to hit him.
Yeah, that definitely hits. He's unconscious.
Okay. And then with a bonus action, I'll use War Priest Charge, War Priest Charge, in order to attack the other one.
With the blade or with the back of the blade?
With the blade.
Okay.
Ooh, 11.
That hits.
Wow.
They're not wearing armor.
I was not expecting that.
Yeah, they are not wearing armor to be as sneaky as possible.
Then 12 for damage.
Yeah, no, you cleave them. You. How would you like to do this?
I'm assuming based on positioning that he would have kind of turned back towards the door.
Yes.
And I'm hoping that Saxon, while still kind of being in the door, is not directly in front of him, because I am going to come down with a vertical strike to his shoulder, basically the collarbone or the clavicle.
All right.
And I want to hit him that way. But then after the impact, while my axe blade is stuck into him, in order to pull it back out, I am going to kick him in the lower back, which will thrust him out the door as I retrieve my axe.
That works. So you will definitely see that from the outside. Saxon, you have to take one half a step as you realize what he's doing to watch the body go flying out the door. Saxon, do you speak Orc?
No.
You're going to be very grateful you don't, as the wives of the Orc Chief are saying a few things. But from body language, you're guessing it's time to get the hell out of there again. If Grukk is interested, that is.
I'm going to tell him the first thing he needs to do is, I don't really care about the awkwardness of this situation with the women. This will all be in Gruck's head.
Yeah.
Do you want to play this up now or later?
You will hear in return. I'm gonna have to go outside for a quick minute.
He's
Are
probably
you
saying that to the women.
Good.
And
Gruck,
it's
listen.
basically
Take
both.
your fucking clothes off. You did this naked.
I didn't have clothes on.
He's
in the
only
first
got a
place.
shield and an
I'm
axe.
Okay,
I'm
fine.
just-
Throw the
I'm
shield
still-
away. Throw the shield and the axe away.
Yeah, I am still stark, but I'm gonna keep my axe. I'm not gonna put it down. I'll put down the shield,
All right.
but not the axe.
So, what do you do? Does anybody need to do anything first? Like, do you need to do anything, Mr. Shape? Changer person?
Am I hidden pretty well?
You think so?
Yeah, I'm right then.
Okay. Just gonna watch. That's fine. Alright, so go ahead, Gruk. What are you gonna do?
I am going to pick up the deceased orc off of the ground inside the tent, and I am also going to grab the live one, and I am going to exit the tent, Stark ass. I'm going to throw the dead one on top of the other dead one, and then I'm going to take the one that is still alive but unconscious and throw him in a separate area, and I will point at him and just loudly demand that he be tied up. I'm not going to point to anybody when I do it. And then I'm going to take a quick look around to wherever the people are. And in Orcish, I will state loudly and aggressively, these men chose poorly.
Okay. You will see a guy, one of the orcs. You don't know any of the orcs yet. He's going to walk up. Rather than tie him up, he's going to literally pick him up, drag him, and throw him into that pit. Because there's no way to get out unless you are allowed out, basically. The one that you fought in before.
Fair enough.
So he throws him in there. And then retreats quickly back over to where he was before. Back to his hut. You can definitely see people are looking around, a little confused. Give me an insight check. And Saxon, do you step out after him looking around? If so, you can do so as well.
Damn it.
And you can as well if you would like, by the way, if you want to read the crowd around.
I got a 10.
Fucking 11? Jesus,
14.
god damn. No, I'm using luck on that because I'm not rolling a fucking 3 on my insight.
Your last luck of the day.
19.
All right. So, everybody except for Gruk will realize that there is a couple orcs towards the back of the crowd that has gathered that look rather disappointed with the situation. The rest of them more look shocked that somebody tried on the very first night.
Fair enough. Matt, I'll be right back. I'm going to go fill up my coffee.
All right.
I'm going to take it here in a second.
I am also going to announce before retreating back into my tent that
If I discover who tried to light the tent on fire during this assault, they will also pay for this crime.
I'm gonna go use the restroom quick. I'll be right back.
He's like, it was a warning shot. You will notice, by the way, as you are saying this, you will look to the side, and Baroja's looking up at you and has her hands over Zerka.
Thank you.
It's just like, but she's looking up, like you can see her eyes.
I mean, ordinarily I wouldn't have, but this is an orc village. It had to be done.
No, it definitely had to be done. You were right. So you give your statement. Anything else after that, Gruk?
I'll go back to bed. My axe will be a little bit closer than it was last time.
All right. Saxon, when you came out, give me a perception check.
$24.
You will notice that witch doctor is nowhere around when you came back out. So you're not sure where he disappeared to. And that will be that night. The rest of the night will go very uneventfully, except for maybe Grukk. And first light will come around. What are you guys doing in the morning? Let's start off with Senior Witch Doctor.
I was gonna say before night,
Okay, go ahead.
I was gonna sneak back into the witch doctor tent,
Okay.
disguise myself back as the witch doctor, and then pass out.
Okay. That's fine. That'll be easy enough for you to do. Given your checks, it won't be very hard at all. Especially since Saxon cannot even tell, doesn't know which tent is which yet, or anything like that, so. Alright. So, the night goes uneventfully for the rest of the night, and first light has come. So, we know where the witch doctor is, Saxon.
I'm gonna wait for Grukk.
Alright.
This is his party. I'll let him have it.
Alright, so you stay in bed, basically in your tent right outside. Grukk, first light comes, what do you do after you wake up?
I'll dress. I'll grab a apple or whatever is close by, because there's bound to be something, whatever it is.
Alright.
And I will, have I will adorn all of my clothing, my full plate armor, the shield, axe, everything.
All right.
And with, breakfast, exit my tent.
All right. You will see that the day-to-day is starting. There is a few people that are already awake. Mostly the slaves that were freed the night before. They seem to be going about most of their day's duties. You'll see people like sweeping, taking care of some of the various plants in the area that are edible, mostly for making ale out of, and just various things like that. A couple orcs you'll see getting up right now, but not too many. One of the orcs you do notice that's out is sort of waking up. Was the head of the hunters, basically. He is recovering from the night before. He missed the entire event last night. You noticed him when you came out. He, like Vol, had passed out on the table. There's about 5 or 6 people that were out. Vol is still, by the way, passed out on the table.
Oh, let's see. I'm probably going to want to start with 2 things. I'm going to want to take a little tour of the village, get myself acquainted with all of the structures and whatnot. Might not necessarily go into any of them, but just kind of walk around the grounds. And I'm also going to want to have some old food, nothing fresh, tossed into the pit for the captive.
Okay, that works. All right. Yeah, you'll be able to take a tour, see where different things are. You can basically, as you're coming out, see one of the orcs, be like, hey, you, tell me where everything is. And they'll take you around and show you a little bit. If you have any questions for him, you can ask. He is... Looking at him, you're guessing he is basically a low-ranking warrior. A younger guy. Maybe been on 1 or 2 raids. He doesn't have a lot of scars. So, he's not very ranked.
Specifically, in order to make it quicker, I want to be pointed in the direction of both the armory, so to speak, whatever they call it, wherever they keep the majority of the weapons and what armor they have, and then also any food stores that they have. That way I can see what there is.
Weapons and armor are all by their own oak. Everyone maintains their own.
Is there any extras that people aren't using?
Extras get melted down and made in a new for us. Everybody, we all have more than one weapon now with the new partnership that we have.
Where do you make more?
I never dealt. I don't know.
Does anybody in this camp make weapons, or do you wield what you take?
Wield what take? Pay others to make.
Are they here, or do you go out of the village in order to pay somebody to
No,
make
it's.
weapons?
I don't know where it is. I'm not part of that duty. You'd have to talk to the hunter for that one. He take it to goblins that do it.
Okay. Do they have any gardens?
They do have some gardens. You'll notice as he's showing you around. It is some things, basically to make trail rations out of type thing. Some wheats and grains. Mostly what it is, you can tell, is most of it's probably being used to create alcohol, not actually food. Most of the staple diet for an orc is meat.
Do they have any captured animals? Do they do any breeding?
It does not appear that they do a lot of breeding. There is a few captured animals. However, by the state of them, you are guessing they were captured in a raid. They don't tend to do any of their own work. They tend to just take what they need.
Okay. I'm assuming that if slaves stuck around and have not left, then there's probably some form of slave quarters, which is where they are still residing, basically. Except for, like, they're probably, like, out doing whatever tasks, but there might be a couple that are still there.
You don't see anything that looks like a formalized slave quarters. You do see the breaking grounds where new slaves are brought to. But there is no formalized slave quarters outside of that.
Where do they sleep?
Where they're owned. Kind of all throughout the village, kind of like the armor and weapons situation. It seems that wealth is kind of distributed fairly well, except for the war chief, which has got quite a few more belongings. You did notice when you were in there, by the way, for his, there was at least a dozen different weapons, fairly nice suit of leather armor, chainmail armor. It looked like he had a very nice breastplate that would never fit him, but it was probably a trophy taken off of somebody else. And there was a clear area where there was some people that had been sleeping, probably at least a half a dozen slaves, humans, that had been sleeping there, but you have no idea where they are at the moment.
Okay. Okay, I'm probably going to want to probably go find the leader of the hunting parties then.
All right. Like I said, he's groggily waking up. You'll be able to find him. He'll look at you. Hey, old chief. How are you doing today? He's like grabbing a big piece of meat that was left over from the night before, starts eating it.
Having a fine morning. I slept well after spilling blood.
The best sleep always is after that. Or after a good fuck. Takes another big bite.
How many parties do you send out regularly, and how many warriors are in each party?
I deal more with the scouting missions and the actual raiding. 3 or 4 at a time of 3 or 4 men.
If I needed you to, would you be able to organize for me workers?
Doing what?
We need lumber.
I can talk to someone. Yeah.
We're going to need lots of it.
We got lots on pretty far. Made the wall. We know what we're doing. There was no gate to the thing, it's just a wall. big old wide open gate.
Well, we might have to take some of that down periodically as we expand. Who handles the raiding parties again?
He looks over and points to one of the guys that is literally like one arm on the table, one arm he's laying on the bench, and the other arm is down on the ground. A mug spilled open on the ground. You can see dried puke from the side of his mouth, and he is snoring loudly. And puddle right next to him. Him. His name is Chuck.
That's a good name for an orc.
He's the only one that chucks.
I'm going to grab probably whatever is close by. If I see a human close by, like sweeping or something, go get a bucket of water, please.
They'll give a little bow and put the broom down and run to go get a bucket of water for you.
When they bring it back to me, I'm going to take that bucket and I'm going to throw it right in his face.
All right, so Witch Doctor, you are asleep. This will wake you up very much so, as you can hear Chuck, who you do know, yelling a string of obscenities, mostly in Orcish. And
I don't know Orcish.
Yeah, that you recognize, even if you don't, like, I'm sure, like, you don't speak Spanish, but you probably know a few Spanish curse words. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of that type of thing. You're just like, oh, God. And he does. Grukk, when you hit him with the water, he comes up swinging and cursing very loudly. And then he realizes, like, he's not even swinging at you. He's just, like, just swinging, and he gets up, and he, oh, what? That was rude. What do you need?
Yes, it was.
He says that, and he picks his hand off the ground. There's still a little bit of ale in his cup. You're not sure if it's just ale or if it's throw up as well, and he chugs it.
I'm gonna laugh as I admit that it was rude. I need to know who are your three best warriors and most able to travel alone for extended periods of time.
Big questions will force waking up. It's not good for me. Yes, we have some who. How extended? And why waste a warrior on that? Wouldn't you rather send a scout?
Due to the nature of how long they're going to be gone, I want to make sure that they are able to defend themselves should the need arise.
He sits up fully. Stands up, cracking some bones, kind of looking around. Oh, I'll find some for you.
If nothing else, we can pair them with a scout. That way, the chances are better.
Yeah. He kind of looks up at the sun. It'll probably take till there, and he points at a random point in the sky. Where the sun will be arcing.
Is it before noon or after?
You're guessing about an hour and a half, 2 hours from now.
Okay, that's fine, because then I'll go relay the same thing to the leader of the hunters, because I'm going to want a scout for each of those warriors.
Okay. Yeah, he can. He'll work on that as well. The other orc that you were with earlier, that you asked to show you around, he's still standing next to you, kind of. You need anything else?
Not at the moment.
He nods, turns, and walks away.
Unless anything happens in the meantime when they get those people organized, my instructions will be a bit
vague while being somewhat specific, I guess. Basically, I want each group with one warrior and one scout to load up on as much food, water, whatever it is that they can carry. And they are going to be traveling in different directions because I want them to go to every village they come across and tell people about me. Begin informing other orc villages of my arrival and let them know that I will soon be visiting them.
Okay, so now they know exactly what kind of person to send. All right. They will bring. Is there anything else that needs to be done in the meantime? Anything you two need to do, Saxon or?
Nope.
In the next 2 hours. Okay. Just making sure. They will bring you. How many people did you need total? You said 3.
I suppose 6 total.
Well, 3 of each. I mean. He'll come up and be like, or Chuck will. Here's 3 of the 5 blades. They'll be good for you, for what you need.
Okay.
Although I'll tell you that first, those were newbies. Last night, I did not know about that. And I'll gladly kill the last if you want. Even though he's my younger brother.
Well, I'll tell you right now, because he is blood, I apologize for what is going to befall him.
He made his choice.
That is so. And it was no worry. I expected it. Although they did interrupt me with my new wives.
Well, then, that's really his fault. The hunter, who is yet to introduce himself to you, will bring you 3 people as well and tell you these are Red Fangs. 3 of his best.
The blades and the red fangs. I like it.
You'll learn that they have different... they have the eyes, the blades, the claws, the hands, and the Red Fangs.
I will give them the same instruction.
I suppose I'd have to rely a little bit on my own history checks because I do want them to head towards distant orc villages, but doesn't necessarily just have to be orc villages. But they are not to attack anybody unless provoked. Obviously defend yourselves. Otherwise, carry with you my name and that of Ares.
Right.
Inform all that you find.
Right.
I will contact you every couple of days in order to see how things are going. When that happens, you will hear me, keep your answers brief, and tell me of your status.
Chuck will go, I'd recommend talking to the blades, not the Red Fangs.
Well, I guess they'll both hear the same thing.
Yeah. Well, just basically to remember those faces more. Getting a little feedback there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I can hear the static on your side.
I fixed it.
Okay, good. Well, you want us to get your council together, Chuck says, as the other ones disperse to gather up supplies and whatnot for the trip.
Yes.
Chuck, I'll go get him. You can see him shudder a little bit as he starts walking towards what you can clearly see at this point is the witch doctor hut. It looks very similar to the voodoo doll on the outside. Lots of strange totems and whatnot. So. Doing it again, huh?
I heard that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so did I.
I heard it the time before, too. That's why I was like, oh, what's going on? I don't know if he can hear us right now.
No, I unplugged it.
Okay.
It's
I got a connector, and it's disagreeing with me.
Fair enough. Well, as long as you can get things to work a little bit at least. It'll be a moment. You'll be half awake. It's been almost a couple hours since you heard Chuck screaming, and he will come in. The new chieftain wants his counsel, and he says it in common because he knows you do not speak orc. You weird orc, you.
Wait, how would? So he knows I don't speak orc, but
Yeah.
I'm disguised as an orc.
Yes, you're a witch doctor, so you didn't necessarily grow up here. You showed up with magical powers, so they kind of have accepted you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
The previous orc chieftain was very impressed with some of your abilities and has kept you around for that. And put you on the council because of your magical abilities.
where's the council at?
Literally anywhere the orc chieftain wants to be at. There's not really a hall or anything. It's usually just kind of outside or...
How long
the guy in front of you,
until
Chuck.
that happens?
Chuck is one of the three. The other one is the hunter one, whom you know is known as Red, because he's typically covered in blood. And then the work chief. Those are the only people on the council. When you could be ready, whenever that is.
Let me gather a couple of things and I'll be right out.
I'll tell him. And you'll see Chuck come back a minute later. He's doing witch doctor stuff. He'll be in a minute. And he sits down and starts fumbling through the bread and meat, trying to find something to eat that was left from the night before. Bats off a couple bugs and starts eating.
I'm going to leave my weapons in the room,
Okay.
but I'm going to take my bag with me because it's going to have the components and stuff I gathered in it.
Okay. Saxon. Oh, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead. Oh, he just hard froze.
Yeah.
Okay, Saxon, I'm assuming you're just kind of hanging around with Grukk at this point, just kind of taking
Pretty
it all in,
much. Yeah, it's his party.
kind of just shadowing
At this
him.
point, I'm the bodyguard slash shadow.
Yeah,
Yeah, pretty much.
it'll be just before noon, by the way. I'll just take care of this real fast while he's reloading in. Ambrosia will wake up Vol, have a brief talk with him, and talk with you guys when they're still rounding up people. My computer decided to update FML BRB. So yes, he's working on that right now. She will talk to you guys briefly. So I understand that you have a lot to do here, but we do still have responsibilities back there, and I want to take Vol with me so that he can at least test these new trainees to see if they're worthy. He knows your standards. I'm sure you trust him with this. He's willing to go back, unless you need him. And then I could take... well, I can't really take Grukk or you, Saxon. I mean, you two are very involved with this situation.
No, I believe that would be probably appropriate.
I'm
Just
okay with it.
make sure that he puts a lot of strain on them.
Oh, I'm sure he will. And she will end up leaving later in that day then, and taking Vol with her to help run things back at the mansion. And thankfully, you guys have that ability to just, be there. So if you ever have to take a week off and you're not in the middle of a dungeon, literally, it's not too bad to do. So.
I suppose, side note, I'm assuming at this point then that Zerka is now following as well.
Yes, Zerka's with you still, yes. She's been following around you, so.
I don't recall, Pink, did I ever formally request the services of Saxon in tutoring
Yes, you did.
Zerka?
Yeah, yes, you did.
Okay. Well, then I suppose if nothing else, then, I guess there you go.
Basically, he's saying, hey, could you scare the shit out of this little girl for me for a while till she understands how to do that?
Kind of, basically. I mean, it's not just that. Like, I want her to be able to use her voice as a tool and a weapon.
Yeah.
Well, while he's doing that, I'm gonna run use the restroom.
All right, go for that.
But the next big thing that I'm trying to put together is finding out if anybody has skills in carpentry. Construction needs to begin.
You'll find out throughout the day that yes, there is a few people that are in carpentry. Most of the work, though, is there's one orc that oversees it, and most of the work is done by the slaves. It's always been that way. So they do not have most of the people here are warriors, and the ones that are actually skilled craftsmen are typically female.
Right. I mean, that's a fair way of doing it, and make no mistake. If nothing else, some of these warriors, whilst they might not appreciate it, are going to get turned into mules hauling the material back and forth as people are putting it together, if nothing else. Because the sooner it all gets done, the better. We are going to begin growing exponentially.
As you're talking about some of this before the council actually convenes, Chuck will go, well, what's the boss think of all that? Have you talked to the boss? You just hear, never mind. You haven't talked to the boss.
Who's the boss?
Well, that's what he wants to be called. He's hired us to hold down this spot. That's why we're no longer nomadic.
I was wondering why you posted up the way you did. I just thought it was a lucky coincidence.
Not, here's the reason he's hired us and other places to hold spots. I don't know why. Some big plan pays us in good weapons and steeds. Kind of motions to some of the wargs.
Who is it?
He just wants us to call him the boss. He not from around here. I've only seen him twice. But stuff shows up every month. New weapons, new gear, new armor, ale. Lots of ale.
Have you encountered anything since this contract was formed?
No.
Like, have you been attacked? Have you had to defend the location?
Not at all. Do a few raids just to keep a warrior sharp. But outside of that, no, I've been growing our numbers here. Haven't even seen another orc village. Haven't had a good orc fight, well, till you, in the last nearly 2 years, well, a year? Nearly a year. About a month after you left.
Speaking of, we're also going to begin training as well. We'll need an area mapped out for that.
Okay. By the way, Chuck is one of the guys that actually beat the shit out of you. Just so you know. But he saw your fight last night, and he's giving you the proper respect. You have proven yourself as an orc. So he doesn't seem to have a problem with it. He did his duty back then. He's doing his duty now.
I suppose technically speaking, I didn't necessarily have any personal ill will towards the guy. It was, a rash choice made in anger due to a limited view of circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
So, an impatient, angry child lashing out.
Literally. But yeah, he was barely your superior back then. He has become much more your superior now, or was much more superior now than he was then. Now you're his superior, obviously. But, yeah.
Sorry about that.
No worries. You never know when that crap's gonna happen, so.
Yeah.
In the middle of talking, all of a sudden it was like, hey, we're going to update now. I'm like, all right.
I hate when that crap happens.
So, what I miss?
Nothing of importance yet because we just kind of did what needed to do. So, like I just jumped away and came back. So,
Okay.
they're still waiting for you for the
On
thing.
my way out of the tent, I'm gonna touch the door and cast alarm.
Okay, that works.
So if someone crosses the door, I'll know.
Okay.
And
Do you
then
you
I'll
have
go
a
to the
focus,
meeting.
right? Not spell components
For the
for your you have a spell focus, not spell components, right? Is that what you
no,
do?
it's
Like,
components.
okay,
It's a bell and a piece of wire.
yeah. So you literally just take a wire and a little bell and kind of fades off. Looks like translucent as you leave. So it takes a
but
second to
it
just
mentally alarms instead of actually alarms.
yeah.
Is what it is. Okay.
Yeah, I know, but you still like.
Okay.
I was just describing the action. You like pull a
Yeah.
little wire, you tie it to 2 spots, put the little bell there. They kind of vanish as you cast a spell, and it links you to the door so that if somebody walks through there, you will be aware.
Okay.
I just like
go
Flair.
to the meeting then.
I think I'm about 8 pounds lighter.
Lovely. Ate at Taco Bell
Right.
yesterday, huh?
Congratulations.
That happens to me every
Fucking
time I eat Taco
Amigos,
Bell.
man.
Oh, Amigos, really? Usually it's not
Did you-
Amigos.
Did you name it?
Flushed.
Cool boy.
It's kind of weak, but okay.
Deuce. Caduceus. That's a bad reference to another Twitch stream. I probably should not make that. Anyway, okay, so let's go on. The council will convene at this point. The witch doctor will approach, staff in hand, as he walks up kind of lazily. Describe whatever you want to do.
I'm just gonna walk up, have a seat, pull some, use some. Hold on. I'm gonna pull out a piece of paper and my oil and the ink pen,
Okay.
or the ink and the ink pen.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna get ready to write whatever I need to write.
Okay. The hunter will look up. Alright, 3 of us are here. Oh, you can do whatever you need now. What do you want to know? Oh, chief.
Who is this? And I will point to the third arrival that I have not yet met.
The witch doctor. I don't know. I never heard your name. We always just call you the witch doctor. Do you even have a name?
I'm just better known as the Witch Doctor. I have a name. People don't want to know it, but I have a name.
Grukk, as you're hearing him, you're realizing while he looks very orc, he obviously was not raised by orcs. His mannerisms and his speech, while very close, definitely has more of a civilized tone to it. He may actually be a city orc, not a tribal orc. He actually is holding himself in a very educated fashion, and you can see why he probably would have been put in charge as a witch doctor. Saxon, you recognize him as the one you
Yeah,
saw
I know.
before.
I'm keeping an eye on him.
Okay.
If you're a witch doctor, does that mean that you have an affinity for magic?
I do have some magic spells.
Are you the one that attempted to set fire to my tent during the assault last night?
Accidentally, I cast a spell that was meant to be a separate spell.
Gonna be rolling an insight on that.
Go ahead and roll diplomacy on that, because that is actually probably, unless it's a bluff. Is it a deception or a... you don't have to tell me which one it is. Just go ahead and roll whichever one it is, if it's a deception or a diplomacy.
Well, my dice traveled, but it finished with a 23.
It was a weird bank shot that came out of the container, and then I tried to catch it, but I slapped it, so then it went into the little keyboard slot underneath the desk, and it hit the back wall, but stayed on top of the keyboard slot. So,
As long as it's on the table.
It was a well-traveled roll.
So
I got a 20, but it was a 15 roll.
Okay. So, well, first off, was it deception or?
It was deception.
He seems like he's not being fully honest. Pretty good about what he's saying. And Saxon, you can roll an insight on that as well, just to see. Oh, you believe him 100%, Saxon. Like, from where he traveled to, what you saw, and how you heard the first thing, Saxon, you're also pretty sure he shot the shot that hit the top of the tent. Whether it was a warning or whether it was an attempted assassination, you're not sure. So, Grukk, you are aware he actually meant to cast Firebolt, but you feel like there's more to it than what he's saying. You're not sure past that.
I think slowly, pardon me.
Is Matt still there? He's kind of frozen in mine.
Oh, I'm here.
Nah, he is.
Okay.
It'll be somewhat out of the corner of my eye, and I will say, very well. How long have you been in this village?
Year and a half, almost 2.
What role do you play outside of being a member of the council?
Spells, healing. Not a whole lot other than that.
Accidentally casting the wrong spell. How do you know you haven't killed somebody when you meant to heal them?
Because no one's died that I've healed. Anyone that's came to me to get healed has yet to die.
I will focus my attention more to the room. I was recently informed of somebody who refers to themselves as the boss. What do you know of him? Like, all of you. What do I need to be informed of?
All right. First off, Witch Doctor, you have not met him. You do know that you guys are serving him, and he has some motive that is in mind, but you don't know past that. But you've never met him, but you've benefited from it. He part of the shipments that is shipped to everything here has been potions and various components that you've used to actually better some of your own equipment, creating some of your equipment, so on and so on, and helping to heal people in here, such as some healing potions, whatnot. As for the other two, the hunter will lean forward. It was the war chief before you and I that dealt with him the 2 times he was here, and I've traveled once to his homeland to relay information from the previous war chief.
Where was that?
Fucking island, P place, like a PVR. Yeah, that's the place. Long, stupid boat ride. I almost earned the title Chuck during that.
What exactly are we supposed to be doing here for him?
Chuck will speak up at this point. He said to fortify this place, hold it down, and be ready to engage in a battle that will resound through orcish history when the time is right.
Never gave any more details than that.
Not to me. Red'll. That's the gist of what I heard, though he did have talks with the war chief privately. Never really questioned it, honestly. We're getting paid well.
Oh, I forgot which one I had.
I want to roll an insight on the both of them.
Go for it.
22.
Yeah, they both seem to be pretty forthcoming. Red is not telling you everything, you're pretty sure, but he is telling you the majority of it.
How long has this deal been in place?
Chuckles, I first saw him about a month after you left.
How long have I been gone?
You know, I have yet to be able to tell you that for sure. It's been a while. Probably a little over... God, I don't know. In game, I believe it's been getting close to 8 months to a year. However long you were gone before that, that's up to you. I would say probably a year to 2 years you've been gone.
I mean, reasonably before being sent to Seaport and whatnot, I could imagine that at least taking a couple of months.
All right.
I mean, there's no particular reason why it couldn't have been longer. So.
All right. So about a year, a little over a year.
Do you have any means of contacting this person?
In the head of the chief. You can tell they don't have a very good grasp of magic.
Well, I guess we will see whether or not we'll see whether or not he's aware of the fact that there's a new chief.
Find out.
And to anybody paying attention, there may have been a slight look out of the corner of my eye at the witch doctor.
You see him busily writing down things of what's being said.
I would like to summon my familiar.
Okay. What is your familiar?
It's gonna be a cat.
Okay.
Like a black cat.
Alright, so a black cat just kind of walks out from underneath the table. I'm assuming you already had it pre-summoned, so you're just pulling it out of the pocket dimension.
Just pulling out of the dimension. Just gonna have it come hop up in my lap and I'm gonna pet it.
The look on Gruck's face. He's trying to figure out exactly what to make of that.
Oh, I know exactly what to make of that. There's never been a movie where somebody was sitting in a chair petting a black cat and they were good.
God, now I want to know if that's actually true.
Well,
I
the
bet
movie
you
I've
there's
ever
a
seen.
movie somewhere where someone's
movie
petting
buff.
a black cat.
I can't honestly, off the top of my head, think of one. I'm trying. It's not working.
Well, I don't know if you can consider yourself good by any means anyway, Gruck. You're just finding an ally.
Well, I consider myself to be good.
Okay, yeah. Gruck considers himself
Whether or
to be
not
good.
the rest of the world does is completely
has yet to
beside
be
the point,
seen.
and not all that important to me.
Another good point.
Well, I do believe, being we are all here, it is at the very least time to discuss the direction that I want things to go in and certain tasks that I want to have done. Whether or not this boss is going to object or interfere, we'll find out when it happens. Whether he chooses to speak with me or comes to visit himself, either way. Pardon me. As I've previously mentioned to was it Red?
Yes.
I think we need lumber. We need to begin building.
Oh, that was Chuck you were talking to on that one.
Okay, Chuck. We need to begin construction outside of the walls. We are going to need additional huts, additional places for people to sleep. Start with a large building. That way, it'll be the first thing done, and the former slaves will have a place to sleep specifically for them, and in time, they will all have their own place, the same as everybody else. On top of that, we're going to need a number of other things as well. We're going to need structures that are going to pen in animals. We need to begin breeding them, not just hunting them down. It is a far more stable form of production of meat, long term, and in much higher numbers.
More work, less fun.
There will be a lot of work. I won't deny that. However, the fun will come later, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Also, you're going to look around real quick. There is literally not one building here. The walls are constructed. Outside of that, everything are tents. Large tents.
We will need to begin upgrading things.
So, how do you build a building?
At the very least, while I'm no carpenter or somebody who is proficient in construction, I imagine I can construct something relatively half-assed that would stand.
I might have some papers back in my place that have some construction information on them. I'd have to look through all my papers.
One other side note along these lines, something that a lot of you, well, maybe all of you and definitely the rest of the village might not appreciate, is I am going to be traveling to have a word with the nearest elven village that I can find.
Do you want people here to hate you? How about you settle in for a little bit? You're already trying to say, no more fun, we're gonna make you work more, and then you're gonna go talk to the Flower Bloods. How about you just start with one or two of those things and work your way up from there? Like, they honestly look very angry.
The man does have a point.
I myself have no problem with you going and talking to the elves.
Well,
Making the orcs work more, that's probably a good thing. They're kind of a lazy bunch.
You hear Red say under his breath in Orcish, flower fucker. Which basically means elf lover. In Orcish.
Well,
it's just more crude.
The way that I see it, the way that I see it effectively is the only work that I intend for the orcs to actually have to do is until our numbers grow to the point that I no longer need the orcs to work. They will become security.
Wait, so you want us to grow the numbers too? So you want us to work hard and fuck hard?
And recruit hard.
Ah!
That is why I'm sending people out to other villages.
What?
I want to combine them.
You do know that will mean war.
It'll mean war for anybody that doesn't join us. That's where some of the fun's going to come.
You do know it means war.
I'm sure there will be plenty of blood to spill.
In the history of all villages, there's only been one time more than one village has actually come together to fight. And that's when the Flowerbloods tried to take all the forest for their own, claiming it's their land, and that we were raping it.
Well, then we find ourselves on the dawn of a new age, don't we?
You're going to have to fight way more than you did today, or yesterday, or last night.
Fortunately, I am young and eager for blood.
Well, I would say first thing isn't going to be built in war. The things you're talking about with sustaining fucking pigs. Doing a war would probably be the first one to do. Bring glory to the tribe. They're going to be more likely to listen. This is Red, by the way, saying all this. He seems the most intelligent out of them outside of the war chief who is documenting things. We'll see. I don't know, sitting there quietly?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just listening right now.
Taking
notes.
After I get the first report back from the scout and warrior, we will determine how many, if any, are receptive
to the message that they hear, and that will be the first place that we organize and go after.
All right. What else do you need to do this day? Like, is there anything else you want to do? Clark is passed out drunk because you made him drink last night, and he doesn't ever drink before, so he is like completely like bird sprawled out on top of one of the roofs.
I want the Warriors to
Clark?
be organized.
Sorry, is his name.
Because I want to see what they can do and impart some training right away and begin with that.
You realize very quickly that your recruits would probably be able to take on about 5 or 6 of these each.
Then they definitely need to get some form of training.
Yeah, there is. They do have very nice looking weapons and armor now, though, and a couple weapons to each one of them. They're not just the crude makes as you normally see. They do have wargs. A few people are actually trained in riding on, so on, so on.
I think that's probably a pretty good starting point. Although I would like, after this, to speak with whoever the former slaves consider to be, in charge of them, or whoever they respect among them, because I want somebody to begin basically plowing outside the wall.
Yeah, they'll have a representative come talk to you, and it'll be the type of thing. Be like, all right, here's the deal. You said you're free, and you seem to be amicable and like these people here, so I'm sure you're actually up for talking out a deal. Yes?
Yeah.
We all are interested in, going home, but at the same time, most of us have been here for so long that this is home. And while we don't really appreciate, the way the orcs have treated us, we've built most of this with our own hands, and wouldn't mind sticking around. So, we want to be more, I don't want to say equal partners, but, treated with equal respect. That's the first thing. Not having to sleep in the same room and watching orcs fuck would be another one that we definitely don't want to have happening anymore. Except for Tim, he's a freak. He still wants that.
I will stop him there, and depending on, we'll see how the progress goes, and I might have to kick him in the ass. One of the first things they're going to do upon retrieving lumber is I want a structure built so that you all have a place to sleep that is not in the homes of your previous masters.
That's good.
After that, we can.
So
we
a
can
certain
then
type of
focus
building you want us to build?
Preferably, I would. I would like solid structures with not having canvas for a roof.
Oh, thank God. The guy you're talking to, by the way, is slightly older. He appears to be probably in his early 50s. Very worn. You could tell he has been in the sun a long time. Before I was here, I was a carpenter to the south. I actually have knowledge in how to build proper structures.
I am very pleased to hear that.
Oh, I'm very pleased to sit here that you want. Can we make beds?
Yes.
Oh my God. Alright, we are more than willing to follow you. Where can we build our new structure?
We're going to need to start outside of the current wall, because we are going to have to expand the wall in order to encompass.
Sorry, I don't mean to be insulting, but they still consider it a wall. I still find that funny.
I mean, yeah, it's pretty weak, but it is what it is.
We can, honestly, it doesn't do anything defensively. We could just use some of the lumber from that and have something built within probably 3 weeks.
Now, I will say this, because I want to be perfectly clear and honest with you. As you, I'm sure, are well aware, orcs don't like labor. That being said, I am going to try to get them to do as much as I possibly can. Mostly, it'll probably end up being hauling materials back and forth to make them available. I will probably rely on you and the rest for a good majority of the labor.
There is one other request we do have, if you'd be willing to hear it.
Such as?
We'd like to send an emissary from here back to civilization to contact our families and let them know that we're alive, and if any of them want to join us here, they can.
Absolutely.
That's... That is good. So when you return to civilization, we'll send one of us with you.
Now,
I
will also
don't really
say
trust
that
the
I
orcs to
do-
take us alone.
That's understandable. And that goes in line with what I'm about to say, and that is I expect there to be a certain amount of tension as things progress.
Well, as long as you're
I'm-
here, I don't think it should be bad.
I'm hoping it won't be too much of a problem, but it's hard to say.
All right.
It'll be dealt with as it comes up.
So, am I here during this all, or
Yeah,
I go back?
I'm
to
like you can go back to your place anytime you wanted after the council meeting. But if you wanted to just hang around, he keeps having people coming and talking. You can keep taking notes. He hasn't like told you to go away or anything.
I'm
but-
gonna finish what they're doing, and then I'm gonna head back to the place,
Okay.
the tent, and look for anything that has buildings on it or
Anything architectural?
construction or yeah.
Go
anything
ahead
architectural.
and roll me an our investigation.
And then, did my alarm ever tripped?
No.
14.
14. Yeah, you'll find a few books on some stuff.
I'd like to carry him back whenever.
All right. Yeah, you'll be able to bring out. It's actually when he's talking to the guy. It won't be too long after that. Right about the end of that conversation, you'll come out with some architectural plans that you had collected through your travels.
Okay.
Actually, it's a plan for a building similar to what the guy was thinking. Helps him out a lot for it. It's technically the plan you have. You have a plan for a typical farmhouse and an inn, were the things you had a plan for, as well as about half of a plan. It's ripped in half. You don't have the other part for what looks like an outpost or a tower type thing, a fortified thing. So. Oh, he.
Somebody
Okay.
just dropped.
Yeah, he just dropped. We'll have to repeat some of that to him when he gets back.
I request that you don't make me roll dice anytime soon. Apparently,
And I need you to make a check now.
I just rolled them a few times just because I got one nat 20, two nat ones, like 2 2s, a 3, a 5, a 7, but just terrible.
Don't you know you're not supposed to do that? Don't you know you never split the party? We're about to get another text going. Ah! Yep, told you. Updating again. Oh, his computer hates him right now.
Oh god, apparently Windows has been plotting this for weeks.
Yeah, probably. All right, so the day goes uneventfully. It goes on to the next day. There is no attempt on your life that next night.
Aw.
People seem to have learned the lesson. How long are you leaving that one dude in there, by the way, before you do something?
Well, when things begin to settle ever so slightly, then I'm gonna want basically like at the end of the week or something, and then I'm going to gather everybody up and announce that that this person made their choice. He is. I'm trying
Okay,
to think of how I want to word it.
The one request that Chuck has for you, by the way, during this is, while he isn't saying don't execute my brother, because he did make a mistake, he says at least give him a chance to regain his honor. Basically, execute him in a way that he can be considered a warrior. As long as he doesn't scream out, blah blah blah. That is Chuck's request. You do not have to listen.
I have
Really?
an idea.
It's really unfortunate.
Well, basically, if you just behead him, that's not going to be it. A way to regain his honor would be you know what a blood eagle is?
No, but I mean, like I've already, basically, I was approaching this with my original plan
Okay.
coming into the village, but I'm concerned it might be too much for Chuck. Saxon, you will hear in your head. I know you don't have a firm understanding of orcs, but do you think the original plan on him would be too much for his brother Chuck? It would give him the opportunity to reclaim his honor.
As long as it is a painful death and he is able to not scream, it'll give him a chance to regain his honor. But it has to be a very painful death.
The likelihood of him not screaming is probably extremely low. And it still comes down to whether or not Saxon is willing.
What, you want me to go have some fun?
No, if you recall the...
I remember exactly what it is you're talking about. At this point, I don't think that guy is going to be showy enough for your plan to take full effect.
You may need to save it for an additional tribe, is what he's saying.
You want to use that on the HNIC.
Yeah, okay.
This particular guy isn't important enough. However, he does need to die. You do want to make a statement.
That is a very good point. I hadn't considered that. Suggestions?
Well,
Still
do you want him to scream? Again, this is in your head, not in front of you.
Yeah, I want him to. I want him to be thoroughly tested. If he is strong enough, I want him to be able to succeed and not scream. I don't want it to be foregone. What would be worthy of putting him to that test while not being, guaranteed that he will scream?
Well, the traditional orc, there's several different ways to do it for traditional orcs being put to death here. One of the most favored ones is to starve a few wargs for about 4 or 5 days, then cut him 2 cuts on each arm, 4 cuts on his torso, and a cut on each leg, enough to draw blood, so the wargs can smell it and throw him in the pit. If he can go through that without screaming at all, he regains his honor. That's the typical harshest punishment you'll see for somebody that's allowed to regain his honor. The other way is to allow them to fight you, literally give them a weapon and let them fight. That's the other one that's not so gruesome.
I'm back.
Welcome back. So I was saying when you disconnected, you found some plans. You found a typical farmhouse, a blueprint basically for an inn, and only half of a print for a outpost. You don't know where the other half is. You may have only had half of it. So
I've only found half.
yeah, so that's what you had for that.
Okay. I'd like to hand them to Grukk.
Thank you. I will hand them off to the other guy that I was talking to.
The human?
Yeah.
The one that used to be a slave? Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, no, that really doesn't. Because it's not, he's just, tied up then, so that really doesn't work.
Oops.
Saxon, unless you have a better suggestion, I'm just going to use that, typical thing that they were talking about. Let the wargs, starve for a couple of days and then just, chuck him in there.
If that'll give him his honor back, and that's what you want.
I mean, I'm not opposed to him having the opportunity. I want to save the, because I think you're right, I should save the other thing for later. Potentially multiple villages.
Now there's the question, do you want him to have the opportunity to regain his honor and yet fail? Or, like, do you want this to look like you're giving him the opportunity to regain his honor? Or do you actually want him to have the opportunity?
That is a good question.
You know what? I want him to actually have the opportunity. If he is able to fight them off and live, then he will have the choice. He can be exiled or he can stay.
Oh, the
If
only
he's
chance
willing.
of him, only chance of him regaining his honor and living would be fighting you, and there's no chance in that even. The way they cut them for the wargs is they're not running. There's no way he's going to live. He's regaining his honor and can go on to the afterlife as a warrior if he doesn't scream.
Oh yeah, well if that's the case, then I mean yeah, I don't have a problem with him succeeding in not screaming. If he manages to not scream, then that's fine. But
You're gonna hear Warwick probably start pouting.
Invisibly, you can hear.
I am aware that so far the plan that I put forth has not happened. I'm hoping that it will. And there's still many possibilities in other villages.
I hope that is okay for now. And then yeah, I'll put that in motion.
What is that?
All right.
What?
Matt, are you on roll 20?
I am, yes. All right, so yeah, you guys will take care of that. It'll take a few days.
Hang on.
Give it a second for him to say something. Boom, ba, boom, ba, boom, ba, boom. Is there anything else you needed to do that day, or anything you wanted to set up, Mr. Witch Doctor, sir?
Or is it getting around night, or what's going on? What about time of the day is it?
It's getting towards evening, getting closer to night. They're discussing capital punishment right now on the one that tried to execute him the night before. They're talking about cutting him, starving the wargs for a few days, cutting the guy's arms, legs, chest, and throwing him in with the starving wargs, giving him a chance to not scream so he can regain his honor.
Kind of barbarian, but sure.
They're orcs.
You're right.
They are the definition of barbarians.
Trust me, he's getting off easy.
That's fine.
I'm just
I
gonna
don't really have
pout.
a say in the matter.
I'll give you the answer for that in a bit. All right. So anything anybody needs to do the rest of that day? Everybody's good?
Saxon's going to hear in his head, I do need to put forth some goodwill in order to, be accepted.
Yeah. You can make it look like he has the opportunity and still let me have some fun.
By the way, the response is basically, no, but I can have fun till then.
When we go to take these other villages, I'm sure there will be loads of opportunity for fun. I hope so. I am disappointed as well. And there's still nothing that says that somebody else won't make the same attempt on my life that he did, in which case the punishment by default would have to be more severe.
All right, so general work starts going around 3 days later. It's the day before you're going to toss them in. It'll be early in the morning. You'll wake up, Grukk, and walk out of your tent as you do in almost every day, and there's going to be a man you have never seen before, clearly Pravian, sitting in a very relaxed fashion on one of the tables for the quarter area, like where everybody feasts and whatnot. He'll look just watching your tent with a slight smile. Doesn't say anything when he comes out, but he definitely has his eyes on you.
I'm assuming I noticed that.
Oh, clearly. He is positioned in such a way you cannot miss him. If you are awake at that point, Mr. Witch Doctor, sir, he will be somebody you recognize as an emissary from the boss.
Oh. Okay.
Um,
I'm gonna keep that to myself right now unless he asks.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure you knew for that.
I am at first not going to acknowledge him because I want to inform somebody to gather everybody for the execution.
Okay. And just for a full description of the guy, he is wearing... he has a typical, very short hair of the Roman Greek style. He is wearing a very loose toga right now. It looks like he has a sheath on his side, but sticking out of it is clearly a little wand and a book. It is a large, large book that he is actually wearing as a backpack over his back.
Any sort of runes or symbols or something that would identify it as a spell book?
You can't see the full book. You can only see the sides of it because he's kind of in the way he's facing. But your immediate guess is yes.
After I give the order to gather everybody for the execution, then I will approach.
All right. It'll take about a half hour for everybody to get together and, get comfortable seats, make sure the kids are where they can see pretty well, so on and so on. As, barbaric tribes are. Get the popcorn ready.
I'm going to, of course, skip on the occasion.
Okay.
Stay back, work on some spells or something.
Alright, that works.
Do some papers.
Alright, so yeah, you'll approach the guy. He just sits there with the same smirk on his face until you get all the way up. New war chief, huh?
Yeah. A few days.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Who might you be?
Oh shit! What was his name? I gotta look at my own NPC.
What was his name? It was nice to meet you.
Yeah, I gotta look. I can't believe
Dude,
I actually forgot his name.
I swear to God, someone needs to name their kid. Oh shit! What was his name?
That'd be so perfect. That would be so perfect. Adonis. I don't know how I forgot that one.
Oh,
That's
weak.
a ballsy name for a mage.
Adonis. I am an emissary for the boss. Would you like to talk in private or here? The previous war chief always wanted to keep everything to himself.
I'll consider that during the execution. Would you care to watch?
Why not? What'd this fool do?
Tried to kill me in my sleep.
Mhm.
Well, him and a couple others, but he's the one that survived.
As he approaches the ward place, you can see how bad they are. He goes, "Where's the splash zone? I don't want blood on my outfit."
I mean, unless they get a lucky shot on the jugular, you're probably fine.
He'll nod.
Then I'll go over to the captive. Let's see, how should I put this? In Orcish, I'm going to place my hands on his shoulders, look him in the eye, and I will say very quietly, I respect the attempt, but the choice in how to go about it was weak. And I don't fault you. I used to be that weak. This is your opportunity to be a real man, and then I'll shove him in.
Alright, so you give him the opportunity, you shove him in. It
Matt,
clearly...
yes or no?
What?
Last one.
No, because it
Damn
actually
it.
does take... Yeah, sorry. You shove him in. It takes about 45 seconds for them to actually get it so that he is dead before they're literally just tearing into his carcass. And he makes it a good 40 seconds through it before he lets out a cry. When he does, you see Chuck just go... And all, like, in unison, all the orcs just kind of turn their back on him for the last 5 seconds. Everybody turns their head and looks away.
I'm gonna keep watching.
Yeah, so it'll be a pretty gory sight. Arms being torn. The wargs are well fed after this, and yeah. I could go into more detail if you want, but I don't think anybody needs to. I think everybody kind of has their own imagery in their head for this one.
Yeah.
And you'll see Donna Spirit. Lovely. So, together or privately?
Oh, I think the table that you were sitting at would do just fine. Would you care for some, whatever kind of meat that that we eat?
I ate before I came, thank you. But I appreciate the offer. You can kind of see a little, like he's trying to be polite, but you can almost see like a twitch of, ugh.
Yeah. I figured, but I was going to try to put him in that position.
And so he'll sit down. Who all are you letting sit with you? Anybody? We lost him again?
Oh.
I was wondering, it got quiet, like there was a steady stream of static, and then it went quiet again.
I mean, Saxon, if you're still hanging around, by all means, you can continue to do so. That's fine with me. I think naturally Zerka is going to be,
Nearby, if nothing else. As far as like the council themselves, I'll probably hold off yet.
Okay. Saxon, do you join for it then, or?
Yeah.
All right.
Basically, at this point, I'm not letting him out of my sight.
Okay. So, yeah, it may be that then. All right, so he'll wait for everybody to be ready. So, I understand that orcs tend to honor their agreement, but I wanted to make sure to make the same agreement with the new war chief, not just assuming our pact will stay copacetic.
I figured something.
And we
Similar.
do tend to honor your traditions, so you can see that the tribe here has benefited greatly from the influence of the boss.
I see that.
Why do I feel like I just walked into, like, an emissary for a Connecticut Yankee at King Arthur's court?
Very similar.
Okay.
So, do you have any questions, or do you understand the agreement as it was?
I believe I've been given highlights to the agreement, but how about we just start from the beginning?
Very well. The boss has certain goals that he wishes to accomplish. Grandeur goals that are greater than most of us can fathom. Things that will require strategic points of interest and precise attacks at certain points. Are you familiar with the flow of magics? Ebb and flow, waypoints? Well, needless to say, we are on a waypoint here. It's a greater version. It's more how... think of it like a vein in the body for the world. We're right here at a very key intersection at this point, and he wants to make sure it stays under his control. It is part of his grand plan. What his grand plan is, only a few know. are privy to, and it only is spoken to by his own word. So I cannot share that information with you. But just holding this position is rather favorable for you, as we send... He stops and looks around and goes, do you want me to tell you what the payment is monthly?
Sure.
Very well. The previous war chief did not. We send another 30 prominent weapons every month, as well as 30 more sets of armor of various types, same number of each. I can give more specific numbers on that if you wish. We send 800 gold worth of gems, which the war chief kept every month and did not share. I know that. And the means to take care of the whole of the village with meat. He would send various types of cattle, various types of sheep, whatnot like that. Goats specifically was his most favorite to send, numbering the total head of 40 every month, as well as 10 barrels of ale and 5 casks of wine every month.
Okay. And all of that is to hold this location under the banner of your boss.
Correct. Just making sure that none but you control it, and when the time comes, to take part in the great battle, which will be quite legendary. If you wish to know more, the previous war chief did know more, but as I said, I cannot speak the words, as it is only the boss that is allowed to say it.
I have immediately one question and one request. The question is, will it be an issue in the short term that I intend to expand this village exponentially?
Meaning?
I want to significantly grow the numbers here.
Well, that was part of what they're doing. I do believe there is more a larger infant numbers here than ever before, and why they have human slaves. I don't know if you've noticed, quite a few of the children are half-orc in nature, far more intelligent and far more deadly in battle than just pure orcs, especially when trained properly.
Look, I will I'm assuming that is...
Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Poor...
Well, I mean, on the flip side, I have like 5 minutes.
You
Yeah,
sweat in your ear? Oh, no, he dropped again?
he dropped again.
Wow.
Skype doesn't like me. We may...
Such a rub.
Pink, you may have to sign up for Twitch this month. Like, sign up for it, actually, because they do have a Twitch chat service that works better than Skype, from what I hear. So, that way you can use D&D, and we can switch to that next week.
That's the only other thing, quick, because then I probably should start getting into that at some point. I might have to talk to Pink over the weekend. The only other the request that I had for him is, will it be possible for me to meet this boss, because
Absolutely.
it's kind of going to be a requirement for me.
Absolutely. Just tell me when you are wishing to leave. I will meet you in Tyrus, or wherever you wish. You do look like you have the ability. I do see your little emblem there. You could probably even meet us in Megiddo if you wish, whenever you'd like, and I will take you to him. He does, at this point, he as he's saying that, he reaches, he's like playing with his hands like this, and you see him pull from one of the rings, and you see him pull out a small piece of wire, and as he does that, he kind of just keeps his hand close to his mouth, and he whispers, and only you, Grukk, will hear, and that is when I will take you to Lord Godfrey.
Can I roll a history or something
Yes, you can.
on that? Yeah, 15.
You're not as familiar with Pravian lore and law as other places, so you're not 100% sure. The name rings a bell. Past that, you're not sure.
If I'm not mistaken, we just hit level 8, so I should have access to I think. What the hell was that? Divination? Is that it?
Yes.
It's 4th level, isn't it?
You'll have to take a look, but as long as you took it, I believe, yeah.
I don't have it like prepared, but I would be able to prepare it tomorrow. Correct?
Yes.
Because I know I keep mixing up the way that cleric works because I'm still stuck on the wizard for some reason.
And
so
yes,
I keep forgetting that.
it is
But
level
then,
4.
yeah. So then I'm probably going to prepare that tomorrow when I wake up, and I will be requesting of Ares any information on this.
You
on
will
this
need
lore.
a weapon of some sort that the spell will consume worth at least 25 gold.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen that.
What?
I wonder if there's a loophole in that.
Oh, okay.
Like, go grab a cheap dagger or something, and then I'll sell it to you for 25 gold.
No. It has to be worth at least.
Or
It
what
would
about
be worth at least.
what about going back into that dungeon that we were in?
I mean,
and
if you want to
taking a
try-
dagger, dipping it in gold, and then pick it up and cast it.
If you want to try to cheat a god, go for it. See
I
if it
mean,
works.
kind of I do.
That's funny. I think that's all I got for the moment.
All right. But yes, feel free. As for other knowledge for you, there is actually 3 other orc villages that he has employed in the same way. They are close to 3 to 4. Well, one of them, the closest one is 7 days travel. The other one is 2 weeks, and another one is another week past that away that he has under his control. So if you are talking about expanding, leave those ones alone. If that's what you mean by expansion, past that, you may do what you wish with the village, as long as this point is held by you.
I would get out a map to have him specifically point out where they are, because I have people out now that are going to nearby villages in order to begin the recruitment process.
He will pull out and he will show you where they are. So.
Okay.
Now, if you want to take those over by any means, go for it. Just their villages have to stay at those locations, and you could reap the benefit of the 3 payments.
That is likely what will happen.
I wish you the best of luck in that. Just remember, many empires have fallen very quickly when you try to overreach.
This is true. I will speak with you again when I make the trip to Pangaea.
You have the ability for sending, do you not?
Yes.
Then just contact me that way, and I pity the fact that you have it as well. Past that, I will look forward to seeing you, and I am sure the boss will as well.
What did he say in response? Like the second line? It sounded like I pity the fact that you have it.
That is what he said, yes.
Oh. As in, like a bad thing?
He did say that.
That's weird. Fucking stuck-up bastard.
You're not sure exactly why he said it, but...
He's a stuck-up mage, that's why.
Well, wizards can cast it too.
Yeah, I'm gonna kill him one day.
Alright. I want to go so I can get something to eat, too.
Alright, that works. Alright, gentlemen, that will conclude this week's edition for us. And I look forward to next week when we can play again.